Listening to problem solving.
What's happening? What's everybody looking at?
I don't know. Uh-oh, police.
Oh, wait. They're stopping traffic. It looks like the street's closed. There must be some kind of problem. Oh, maybe there was an accident.
Question 1. What are the speakers observing? Question 2. What does the woman think is happening? Now listen to part 2.
This is exciting. Let's get a little closer. Oh, yeah. Do you see the cameras and the lights? Maybe the TV news has arrived and they're interviewing people about what happened.
Guess again. There was no accident. Those aren't reporters. Look at that woman, the one wearing the amazing costume.
Huh.
Question 3. How does the man feel about the situation? Question 4. What does the man want to do? Question 5. What is the woman suggesting is happening? Now listen to part 3.
Do you think it could be a parade?
No. I know what it is. They're making a commercial. See the two guys the woman is talking with? They're both really young and good looking. They must be models.
Oh, of course. You're right. I can't hear what they're saying. Do you want to get a little closer and listen?
No, that's okay. It's so crowded and nothing is happening. It's just irritating. Let's go.
Well, okay.
Question 6. What is really happening? Question 7. What does the man suggest that they do? Question 8. What best describes the woman's general attitude? Listening to a daily life conversation.
Hi, Fran. Good to see you. How are things?
Hi, Hugo. I'm okay, working hard. How about you?
Oh, I'm good. What's that new gadget?
It's a smartphone. It's a cell phone, and I can get and send email on it too. That's the great thing about new technology, Now I can work anytime, any place.
That's true. On the other hand, the problem with technology is that you can work too much if you aren't careful. Sometimes you just have to turn off the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Gee, it's pretty noisy in here, huh?
Yeah, there are a lot of kids here with their friends. And look, they're all talking. But they're not talking to each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're all on their cell phones. It seems kind of weird to me. I mean, these kids meet their friends here, and then they talk to different friends on their cell phones. It's just rude,
I know what you mean, but I guess they're having fun.
Well, maybe. Why do kids have to talk so loud, though? I don't think people should use cell phones in places like cafes anyway.
I'm not sure about that. Don't you think that's why people have cell phones? So they can talk to people wherever they are?
I don't know. Oh, sorry. That's my phone. It's the boss. I better answer it. Hello?
Question 1. What are the speakers up to? Question 2. What's new in the woman's life? Question 3. What does the man say is a problem with new technology? Question 4. What problem are the speakers observing around them? Question 5. What best describes the speaker's opinions? Listening for information.
Jack?
Yes, Irene, you're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call. I was recently separated from my husband, and I'm looking for my own place. Tomorrow I'm going to see a bunch of apartments, and I don't know what to look for.
Do you live alone, Irene?
Well, I have a 10-year-old daughter.
Okay, let me make a few suggestions. Do you have a pencil and paper for a few tips? You might want to jot them down. They'll save you a lot of grief down the line.
Okay, Jack, I'm ready.
First, check the neighborhood at night. Does it feel safe? If you came home late with your daughter, would you feel frightened? If you took a bus, could you walk from the bus stop without looking over your shoulder?
Check the neighborhood at night. That is a good idea.
Second, still thinking about security, check the doors and windows. Are there deadbolt locks on the front and back doors? Do the windows lock?
Deadbolt locks.
Third, and this might seem unnecessary, but check the emergency exits, fire stairs, and fire escapes and see that there are smoke detectors. Fire code violations are common, especially if you're renting an apartment in a smaller building or a private home. Better safe than sorry. Fourth, check the plumbing. Look for leaks, drips, and evidence of past damage. You don't want to deal with burst pipes and ruined possessions.
You can say that again.
Fifth, check the appliances. For example, turn on the stove. Raise and lower the oven temperature. Turn on the broiler. Turn on all the burners to make sure they all work.
That's a good idea.
Sixth, look for electrical problems, frayed wires, blown fuses, or tripped circuit breakers, missing switches, and the like. Seventh, look for evidence of pest infestation, roaches and other insects, mice, or worse, rats. Are there bait traps or sprays around, in cabinets and under sinks? You know where to check. Eighth, check the maintenance of the common areas, stairs, halls, basement, elevators. Is there trash or other evidence of neglect? Ninth, check laundry facilities. If there are no washers and dryers in the building, is there a laundromat in the neighborhood? And while you're at it, look for other facilities in the neighborhood, a supermarket, dry cleaners, etc. Did you get all that?
I hope so. Those are good tips. Thanks, Jack. If I could ask you one more question.
I'm sorry, I've got another call waiting. Give us a call back and let us know how it goes.
Question 1.
What recently happened between the woman and her husband?
Question 2.
Why should the woman check the area at night?
Question 3.
What types of violations does the man say are common?
Question 4.
Why would it be a good idea to check the plumbing?
Question 5.
Why are bait traps and pesticides things to be on the lookout for?
Question 6.
Why does the man have to run?
Listening to a news item.
You will hear a news item about an unexpected event during a family trip. A family driving near Banff, British Columbia, on a camping trip last weekend narrowly avoided crashing into a deer, only to hit a large pheasant instead. Banff is a nature reserve, home to thousands of wild animals, including bears, deer, and countless game birds, such as pheasant. Michael Jansen, who was driving at the time, said they were heading back to their campsite around dusk when they came around a bend of the highway and saw a deer trotting across the road. Jansen swerved successfully around the animal, but only a few seconds later, a pheasant flew across the road in the opposite direction and hit the windshield. He pulled over to the side of the road as the deer ran into the forest, unharmed. Unfortunately for the pheasant, the impact of the windshield killed it immediately. However, Jansen's daughter Emily, who took a wilderness survival course last year, decided to make the best of the situation. She took the bird back to the campsite and roasted it with garlic and onions. It's completely legal to eat roadkill in British Columbia, she explained. Why waste perfectly good food? It's sad that we hit it, but at least it didn't go to waste.
Listening to a discussion.
Can the eyes deceive the mind? Let's start with our own experience. What are some common examples of the eyes deceiving the mind?
The first things that come to my mind are those pictures with a hidden image in them. When you first look at them, your eyes tell you that it's just a repetitive pattern, but there are actually differences in the pattern that show up as a hidden image when you look at it for a while.
Those things drive me crazy. I can never see the picture. But to answer the question, I'd say that 3D movies are a very common example of the eyes deceiving the mind. What looks like 3D is really just the same image being shown from different angles.
Good point. What are some other examples of the eyes deceiving the mind? Felix?
Well, to take off from what Marcus said, we use visual deception all the time. For example, we put mirrors in rooms to make them look bigger, or we wear vertical stripes to make ourselves look thinner. Even animal camouflage is an example of the eyes deceiving the mind. The animal is there, but you don't see it because its patterns and colors match the background.
That's true. Are there other examples of the eyes deceiving the mind? Does it happen in ways we don't plan? What do you think, Una?
When people are in the desert, they sometimes see pools of water. I forgot what that's called.
A mirage. Yes, people often see mirages in the heat, on highways too.
And on the ocean.
That's right. People think they see land when there is no land there at all. So we have lots of examples of the eyes deceiving the mind, and we'll see more as we continue with this unit.
Listening to viewpoints.
My name is Sunny, and I'm 26 years old. I've always felt very strongly about world issues. And like a lot of people, I used to say, I wish someone would do something about poverty and things like the distribution of wealth and so on. And, I'd done some research, and, I decided if I could do something myself, I should. I'd read an article that said 60% of people stop giving to charity because they have no idea what happens to all their donations. And I realized if these people had known more about the charity, they would still be donors now. So, I thought, what if I created a social networking site that puts donors in touch with charities and helps them stay connected? And that's what I did. You know, a lot of people give money to charity, but there are other ways to help too. So the way the site works is this. Suppose you want to donate some money to a homeless program, for example, but you don't know where to find one. Well, you can look at my site and find one. Then if you're a small charity and need money for a project, you can post a request on the site. So in other words, we match people to charities they might not know about. I suppose I decided to concentrate on smaller charities because, you know, there are thousands of small charitable organizations, and they often have difficulty raising money. And in fact, we look for small donors too, people who can't afford to give a lot, but they want to feel they are making a difference. One thing that I found out is that lots of people want to support charities in their own city or town. So really it's become a site for local people and local charities, which is great. In a way, local charities often need the most help, and it's nice because you can often see the difference your donations make. It's been really successful. I just wish I'd started on it years ago. There are lots of educational projects. For example, people like to sponsor college students who are struggling with bills. And then one campaign helped a kindergarten that volunteers had set up in a poor neighborhood. If we hadn't raised money for it, the kindergarten wouldn't have been able to get started, and we were able to raise $1,000 to buy books and toys for it. So yeah, I hope there'll be many more opportunities like this in the future.